In today's video, I'm competing in the main draw for the first time in 2025 here in Singapore. The last couple of weeks have been pretty tough, but I managed to qualify this week to give myself a chance to compete for another ATP point in the main draw. This is not only going to be a good opportunity to get another point on the board, but also a good test of my level under quite a lot of pressure. Now, I'm also playing doubles this week, so I can also pick up some ATP points on that front. So I was super excited to see what I could do this week. I hope you enjoy the video.
Getting in a feast.
Got to try and eat as many calories as possible for tomorrow. Lots of carbs. Feeling a bit gassed, so yeah, trying to fuel up as best as possible.
So, what are we doing, Felix?
Eating.
What we got?
What makes it look like there's so much peanut butter.
I've got a little ice cream. We're on a how many day streak?
I think you've done at least a week.
Yeah, at least a week every day at this ice cream shop. Not everyone's playing professional tennis, so some of us can indulge in ice cream.
Oh, I hate today. There's no indoor practice courts for an indoor tournament. Don't know how that works, but that's how it is. Honestly, I'm feeling a little bit tired today from the singles and the training before. Gonna have to push through, find a way to just adapt. I'm not trying to tire myself out too much for tomorrow.
Main draw tomorrow. Vamos! I don't know if the camera's picking it up. In Singapore, you got these black bees. They're like some of the biggest bees in the world.
So the outdoor warm-up was pretty humid and didn't want to hit too long. We played for about 20 minutes because we were next to go on. Our first round was against two Thai players, the actual seed number one in singles, and his partner was also a very strong player, having qualified as well this week. So we knew this wasn't going to be easy. However, of course, you know, with singles players, sometimes the doubles chemistry isn't quite there. I hadn't checked how much they'd played together, but I kind of hoped that they hadn't done too much. So we really wanted to come in here with a strong start. I felt like in the first week, I wasn't necessarily, me and my partner weren't able to utilise our serve as much as we would have wanted. So I knew here, both of us being quite tall, serving well, we want to try and capitalise as much as possible. As you can see, a pretty tight juice point pretty early on. These are always tough and getting pretty unlucky there at the beginning of the match. But like I said, just trying to keep it on serve as much as possible, play super aggressive. And yeah, we actually clicked as a team, having not played too much, so it was looking good. And that is a joke of a line shot. Felt like Novak on that one, and hopefully, you know, we could use that confidence after a couple of good points to really try and steal a break here. And what these guys did really well is they played like from the baseline some really, really deep balls, put us under a lot of pressure. I think we maybe could have come forward to the net a little bit more, but obviously put some pressure on our service games to make sure that we're pressing the net, we're moving around, because you know, when we're stuck in these kind of cross-court rallies, it became super tricky for us to actually find ways of winning points. And as you can see here, coming to a sudden death juice point, pretty key moment here in this first set, getting into that backhand cross rally. Not quite making that ball and going down a break. We made this point right here super important, and we go set point down at 5-4. And we do lose the first set, but I overall think that the level of tennis was super high if we kind of just kept going. A lot of the times in doubles it's very momentum based. If you can find an early break, find a couple games kind of back, we could really be in this one. And I definitely thought that even though I hit my partner there, we were actually playing some really good tennis, and you want to take that with some positivity. And with that being said, we're trying to use that and channel that into finding a break as soon as possible, because if we lose these kind of two games, it's going to be tough to break back. Huge angle pass there to get that break back. That was big for the confidence. And now we really wanted to just kind of keep that momentum flowing, keep that pressure on our opponents. In doubles, it's always about these momentum swings, and if you can capitalize and you can win these sudden death juice points, as you can see here, it makes a big difference. And a couple bad decisions there on that previous point really left us in a bit of a sticky situation here. Again, sudden death juice, that was very important. I was actually quite annoyed at myself that I made those kind of 2 errors which caused us to go kind of break points down. So it's always nice to just try and find a way of kind of converting that back and holding on serve. Again, another little confidence boost. And now we kind of try and do what they did to us to break us at the last minute at the end of this set. And a great point there, to be honest, at 5-4. Definitely trying to put out all of the stops to try and take it, and just unexpected changes line. I'm not really doing too much wrong. Okay, could have covered a step wider on that angle, to be honest. But again, I wasn't really expecting it. So it's always important to expect the unexpected, especially at this kind of futures level where some of the guys aren't necessarily playing textbook doubles. But we get to a tight spot here in this second set, and we knew that, again, similar to that previous game, if we could find a way to kind of sneak a couple points here in a row, we could really give ourselves a chance to go up. So they started off pretty strong with a great point here at 1-1, but it was absolutely neck and neck. The points were super long, and it began to get a little bit cagey, but I'll let you guys watch, and it was a close one. And that ball down the line was the right shot to go line off, but gives them kind of a mini break here at 6-7. Ball straight at us here, down the middle, again finding the space, making the most of that point, and just missing that return really put us on the back foot here at 6-9. Some pretty unrelenting pressure meant that we did lose the first round in another match tiebreak, which I was pretty disappointed with, to be honest. I was frustrated that we didn't manage to get any sort of doubles win this week. However, with that being said, the main focus was on the singles. That was what we were aiming for this week. And on match day, we were on court 3 once again, ready to go. Super pumped for the main draw match. Now, I was really trying to focus and lock in for this, so I haven't really filmed too much kind of clips around it. I like to just focus on exactly what I want to do. Not really try and be as distracted, if that makes sense. You can see me here completely locked in with my headphones on, re-gripping my rackets, doing my warm-up, doing a little bit of meditation. I like to just kind of visualize a little bit about the match. And here we go. I'm actually playing the opponent I lost to last week in the qualifying draw. Now, I actually watched through a lot of the match and, went through with my coach and my brother. And we kind of had a little bit of a game plan of playing consistent pressure. So at the beginning of this match, you're going to be seeing me, really looking to just be consistent, make a lot of balls, big to big targets, and when I get opportunities, kind of come forward to the net. We did feel that, if I could kind of execute on the strategy with me playing a lot better than I was last week, it was a very, good opportunity to kind of take this first win. However, with that being said, my opponent did come out of the gates absolutely firing. He was playing a lot of good points, takes that game there on an ace. I had one break point which he then aced me on as well, so I knew that he was going to kind of bring the heat a little bit as well, so I had to make sure that the balls that I was playing were aggressive enough. I wasn't just putting the ball in court like potentially I could do in other matches, but as you can see here, kind of the quality of ball striking, the level and hitting at the beginning of this match was pretty solid. I wasn't really giving my opponent too much like that. I'm making him play. Those are good points to be losing. No point is good to lose, but if you're going to lose a point, ask a lot of questions, especially at the beginning of the match, see what he can come up with, and if he comes up with something that's too good, then okay, fair play, and try not to make the same approach or the same pattern again. But as you can see here, really just trying to test my opponent, see what the level's like, and I think that it was very high at the beginning with quite few unforced errors, to be honest. Do get that break point there. Tried to kind of chip it short, just draw him into the net a little bit. Wasn't, I was hoping he wouldn't kind of go down the line to the backhand and kind of for a winner with quite a big risk. But with that being said, again, trying to fight through this game, find a way through. Thought that ball also went long, frustrating. I mean, I actually thought it was out, which is kind of why I stopped. And those calls are always going to happen. But again, just had to take that energy and take that into this next service game. I knew that every game was going to be a battle. Every game was going to be tight. So I just was trying to take every single opportunity and look to try and find a break in the set. You see there a good example of the consistent quality I was trying to achieve. Some good depth. And again, I get close in that game, and my opponent pulls out some good points. And this game here again, down the line, second serve, winner. This point here at 30 was really important. Again, I've lost the first 2 points. Didn't do too much wrong. He just catches me out there. I was expecting more of a forehand, but he finds some good depth. I took a little bit of a risk to try and take the forehand there, and it didn't go in my favour. So 40-15 down here, with my opponent having two break points, and that ball just travels wide. And I give him the break. I didn't really feel like I was in the position where I should have, given a break. I felt like I was actually playing pretty decently. It just kind of happened, a couple of points that kind of didn't go my way. But that is kind of tennis, and so I kind of knew that and really wanted to make sure that I find that break back as soon as possible, and try and put that to one side. Obviously it's easy to be frustrated with that and then get down on yourself and feel frustrated, but I definitely knew that my level was there and I was playing some good tennis, but so was my opponent at the right times, and I just had to kind of keep knocking on the door and try and find some chances. Good example there is 30 all, good opportunity potentially, but some good serving from my opponent, giving him that first set point here and just hitting the top of the net on that backhand. Really went for an angle. And I lose the first set 6-3. Honestly, didn't feel like I was doing too much wrong. Some good tennis from both of us, but sometimes not doing something wrong isn't good enough. And I said to myself, I really need to up the ante. I need to up the pressure, because clearly what I'm doing, albeit maybe not terrible, isn't going to win me this match. So really came into the second set with a bit of a different mindset. I took a little toilet break, recovered my, relaxed a little bit, did a little bit of visualization, and then, in this set definitely wanted to come out a little bit more kind of all guns blazing, using the forehand a little bit more to do some damage, and really trying to be aggressive. One other thing, guys, I'll say that if you find a lot of this commentary useful, like within your game, then drop me a comment down below. I'd love to know what you guys think. I just think kind of giving an insight into what I'm thinking, I guess it's interesting, and hopefully it can help some people with with your games. But as you can see here, again, 2-love up, a very, very important game. Great down the line passing shot from my opponent, but I managed to fight back and get myself another game point here. Go a little inside out to his backhand. Nice little smash put away, and this set started off pretty strongly, pretty positively. Really was able to kind of get that front foot. Broke my string here on this point to just absolutely charge there. Maybe I should do this more. I actually ended up winning the point pretty easily there with a broken string. So maybe need to try that out a little bit more. But with that being said, again, just really trying to make that first serve percentage. With the 1-2 punches, come forwards. You can see me coming forwards a lot more. I think it's kind of a common theme that when you watch your matches back, you can see very clearly like where you're winning points. Good attacking backhand on this break point for my opponent. Again, kind of saving myself a little bit. In this game to just stay ahead. That was the main thing. Just stay ahead, stay aggressive. Don't give him that confidence to start swinging through the ball, because when he had that chance, he was really putting me under some pressure. A great point, honestly, from both of us there. Really not too much wrong. He, played a great point to come forwards, come to the net. But again, like I said before, if I can keep asking these questions, I've got good chances to kind of win these games. And, he does end up holding that game. That's fine. Now it's on me here to try and serve out for the second set. And an unforced error, and just 2 or 3 points slipping away from me there. Yeah, I mean, I felt at the time that I was beginning to lose concentration a little bit here. Obviously, I kind of came into this match pretty exhausted, and I was beginning to feel it a little bit physically. And I didn't want to let that try and get to me, because the moment was more important than how I felt. But I could definitely feel that in my my body, my brain. I was beginning to struggle a little bit, so I popped a caffeine gel. Really tried to kind of refocus and regroup. If you let one game slip, okay, but now this was I'm not gonna let this set get away from me, and definitely at least force a tiebreak here. And really wanted to just try and find a way through, give myself a little bit more time, and then come out in the third set with the same mindset as before. And we're into a set tiebreak. First 7 points. If I win, we're playing for an ATP point in the third. If I lose, I'm out in the first round. And this tiebreak was tense, I want to say. Great dig from my opponent there. I genuinely thought that ball was going so far out. Here, just trying to get on the forehand as much as possible, play, good depth, slightly overplaying it, mistiming it, and giving him a mini break. But, some good serving kind of keeps me in it here, and I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't giving him that opportunity to have that confidence. I think that one thing that Maximus did well is like when he was on the front foot, he would play super aggressively. But as you can see here, me taking that initiative, coming forwards, taking it to 3-all, really just trying to play some good tennis. Great ball down the line for my opponent. Not really too much I can do there, and I'm down like a small mini break here at 5-3. I'll let you guys watch the rest of this. That ball just travelling long. Honestly, I thought I played it to perfection. Usually, in most circumstances, a good miss. And unfortunately, I then make the unforced error to lose the match. Right, guys, so this is editing Felix post that loss, and I was annoyed at the time with that loss. It was a really good opportunity to take another ATP point, but that's tennis. That's what happens. I came out of that match not super disappointed with my level. I didn't, give it to my opponent. I didn't really, let the opportunity get to me. I thought I actually did a lot of things well, and I definitely think that my game's improved. My coach agrees with me, and I think that it's a step in the right direction. Is it the result we wanted? No. Am I going to take a lot of learnings from that loss? Yes. I think in tennis, it's never a linear path. Last couple of months, I've had a couple of injuries, some bad scheduling, food poisoning, a lot of stuff which, isn't really in my control, which isn't ideal. But with that being said, I'm more motivated than ever to keep that journey going. And one of the things that really inspired me in Singapore was all of you guys that came out, supported, watched. It reminded me why I started making this journey. Showcasing it online is to help inspire people, to help you to chase your journeys as well, and also to showcase how difficult becoming a pro tennis player is. For those of you that know me personally, you'll know that I work very hard off the court, in the gym, on my food. I'm documenting this whole process, and the process is what it is. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an Alcaraz or a Sinner or like a Rise. It's raw and unfiltered, and it's going to have bumps in the road like now, but I'm always committed to working hard and coming back, and that's what's going to be the most satisfying part. So I'm very excited for the latter part of this year. I've got some really cool tournaments planned. I appreciate every single one of you that subscribe, that watches. I wouldn't be able to do this journey without you guys, so I want to say a big thank you. Yeah, I'll see you guys in next week's video.